welcome to Good Game Pocket Edition, our weekly review roundup. I'm Barjo.
And I'm Hex. This week was a difficult one as we faced the end of the world in our Apocalypse special.
That's right, Hex. We braved many zombies and agonised over some tough dilemmas in the second season of The Walking Dead.
That's not how things work around here. We make decisions as a group, and you're wearing out your welcome.
But before that, we found a simpler solution, blasting those zombies to bits in Dead Nation Apocalypse Edition.
If there's one thing that a zombie apocalypse is good for, it's getting the chance to shoot stuff up. And that's what you'll be doing a lot of in the twin stick shooting of Dead Nation Apocalypse Edition.
Dead Nation was originally released for PSN way back in 2010, but now it's received a next/current gen, slightly improved, special, higher def, remastered re-release, plus DLC for the PS4.
The combat is pretty standard but satisfying twin stick shooting stuff. Aim with one stick, move with another, and shoot everything that moves. There's also a melee whack and a quick dash move to help you out of sticky situations.
There's also a decent, if predictable, assortment of enemies to fight. You've got fat, explodey zombies, screamy zombies that spawn in even more zombies, big leapy zombies, and of course lots and lots of normal dumb zombie-type zombies.
I thought there was a pretty good range of weapons too. You have your go-to rifle with infinite ammo to fall back on at any time, but you unlock a range of more powerful, limited ammo weapons to help you out as well.
The SMG is great for crowd control. The shotty is as reliable a zombie deterrent as ever.
But nothing can stand in the way of the fiery destruction of the flamethrower.
Well, I think it's a solid twin stick shooter. It's nothing amazing, but as far as hectic zombie slaying action goes, it's pretty good. I'm giving it 7.5.
I think it's best on the couch with a friend. I'm giving it 7.5 as well. Over on Spawn Point, our show for younger gamers on ABC3, we had a look at Clash of Clans and Trials Fusion. Let's check it out.
Clash of Clans is a free-to-play multiplayer strategy game. Players are given a small plot of land to build their base in. They must protect it from other players and build up armies to attack others. It first came out in 2012 and has since gone on to become one of the most popular free games in the world. There is a single-player campaign you can work through, which offers up a series of increasingly difficult bases to raid, but it's much more profitable to attack other real players. Unlike most strategy games, though, you have no direct control over where a unit moves or what it attacks. All you can do is decide which units to include in an army and where and when to deploy them in battle.
Another thing I liked is the constant drip feed of new strategies that come in as you level up. Every time you upgrade your town hall, for example, you get access to more bits of defensive equipment, which can completely change how to best design your base.
And as you level up your barracks, you'll get access to more powerful units, which all bring with them their own strengths and weaknesses. It's constantly adding new things to the mix.
I'm always wary of these kinds of games though, where they teach you how to spend premium currency in the tutorial.
Yeah, it can feel quite manipulative when they deliberately slow your progress down to try and make you pay to have fun.
Yes, but ultimately I think there is actually a decent strategy game underneath as well, so I'm giving it 7 out of 10 rubber chickens.
I think the reason why this game has been so successful is because people really just genuinely like it and want to invest in it as a long-term hobby. I think if you've got the patience and the commitment, this can be a lot of fun for you, so I'm giving it 7.5 out of 10. Trials Fusion is the third game in this acrobatic motorcycle series, but unlike most racing games, it's not about being the first across the finish line. There are competitive parts, but the main game is all about beating a series of tricky obstacle courses.
Oh, it's good to be back in Trials mode, and just like the last game, Fusion is all about managing your throttle and knowing when to shift your balance so you land perfectly every time. They've thrown in ATVs this time around, and there's a good mix of desert tracks where you can really take advantage of their extra muscle.
I just feel like they haven't done enough with this sequel. It almost feels like an expansion or something.
Well, I understand you might feel like that because Trials Evolution was a perfect game.
I did enjoy this game. I just wish they'd added a little bit more that was new and different to this sequel. It was just hard to be excited about, so I'm giving it 7.
I think user-generated content extends the life of the game, and I still like this formula, so I'm going to give it 8.5 out of 10.
Okay, time for a question, and this week let's go with this one from Laros, who is wherever you want me to be in Victoria. With the $15 a month subscription to Elder Scrolls Online, would the developers earn a larger profit if the subscription was lowered to $5 or $7? This in turn would bring a larger flurry of gamers. P.S. What are your thoughts toward the Xbox One not being able to play second-hand games? Is it smart or greedy?
Well, Laros, from a player's perspective, I would definitely appreciate a lower fee. It would make me happy to subscribe for longer, and I'm sure it would bring a few more people on board as well. And maybe getting players to stick with the game for longer would ultimately be more profitable.
Maybe. As we talked about a few weeks ago, we know going entirely free to play has boosted other MMOs' profits substantially because players end up spending more money on in-game transactions. And I don't think there's any evidence to show that halving a subscription fee would have that same effect.
As for the Xbox One not playing second-hand games, well, that's just not true and never was, really. The Xbox One plays second-hand games just like any other console.
It's pretty amazing how poorly Microsoft handled the Xbox One announcement, isn't it? I mean, people are still confused about it.
Yeah, but the original plan wasn't to block second-hand games. It was to create a kind of console digital platform, a bit like Steam on PC. So when you buy a game, it would attach to your account and you wouldn't need the disc anymore, but they were still going to let you remove it from your account and trade the disc back if you wanted.
I don't think greed was a big motivation for the idea. I think they just imagined that people would want to have a more digital-based game library, and that people hated getting up to swap discs in and out of the console for larger games. So they probably just thought it was a cool, convenient feature.
Yeah, I actually think it was quite a forward-thinking platform. They just failed to explain the idea properly. They needed to come out on stage and walk us through that vision step by step. Instead, they ignored the elephant in the room and talked for ages about how you can watch TV on your console. That's why I have a TV. I don't need a console to watch TV. That's why I have a TV.
Yeah, but much to their credit, at least they listened when everyone said they didn't want the old disc-based system changed. Anyway, speaking of listening to everyone, it's U-Review time.
Excellent segue, Hex, and yes, seeing as we're talking about the Xbox One, let's see what everyone thought of the PS4 exclusive Infamous Second Son.
You think they're gonna welcome you? Wake up, man.
Generally, there's a lot of love for it, but let's start with some of the more critical reviews, like this one from Ty Roller, who wrote, "It was okay, but I don't think it's enough. 5.5 stars.
Dingo Boy here was even harsher and wrote, "Hope there isn't a third son." 2.5 stars.
Ouch.
Reggie, I can't stop it, man. It's okay. You're okay. Just breathe.
Well, the haters were definitely in the minority though, with most of you lavishing praise upon it, like Riff Patterson here, who wrote, "Me likey, 8 stars.
Likewise, Ares is the name had some kind words saying, "I found this game, Walt, great and fun, but only bad thing is it's short. Not that short, but really cool and fun." 8.5 stars.
What does that even mean?
Well, another insightful bunch of opinions there as usual, but for now, let's take a look at another one of our reviews from this week. With a reputation of fine storytelling to uphold, Telltale Games are back with the second season of The Walking Dead, an episodic graphic adventure. 2 episodes have been released so far, so we scrambled around for whatever we could find to defend ourselves against the walkers once more.
Season 2 picks up not long after where the first season left off, and the game will remember your choices from your previous save file if you played the first season on the same platform. Otherwise, there's a previously on to get you caught up, and it will randomly select your decision history for you.
You take the role of Clementine, who after the events of Series 1 has been taken under the wing of a friendly couple.
Naturally, things don't stay rosy for very long, and soon Clem is on her own again, left to fend for herself. These games have a story focus, so the majority of gameplay revolves around dialogue options.
Help me, and I won't tell him.
But there are a few objects to find and actions you'll be performing yourself in each scene. Personally, I found playing as a child in this landscape really amplifies the horrifying events that play out. And it raises the stakes. You immediately feel protective of her.
Yeah, I agree. In fact, it kind of reminded me of that shift to Ellie in The Last of Us, only Clementine's even younger. She's like 11 or something. She is remarkably tough given what she's already gone through and continues to endure.
She is unusually savvy and mature for someone of her age, much more than the survivors around her at times.
You can't just sit here and die.
Why not? What does it matter?
You still have Luke and everyone else. They're family.
But what's so brilliant about the Walking Dead universe is that it's rarely the zombies that are your greatest threat.
Yes, and this is where that element of branching story and play decision really shines. And I was really impressed with all the scenarios that Telltale threw at us in this new season. Clem will encounter numerous groups of survivors, and it's interesting how they played with the dynamic of these relationships around her.
There is an incredible sense of tension that maintains throughout both episodes. It seems as though Clem's role is to try and keep everyone at a simmer.
Clementine should stay here. She's what?
Well, at least that's how I played her anyway. I made alliances where I could, and I tried to help diffuse situations so that everyone would get along.
Leaving us again.
I know where the river is.
And every choice you make is crucial, because no matter what you choose, they'll remember that.
He wasn't gonna do anything.
I know what I saw.
It could set off an irreversible chain of events that might cause them to turn against you later on. You just don't know.
And I love those choice statistics at the end of each episode too. You can see the percentage of other players that made the same choice as you versus those that didn't.
It's high-stakes choose-your-own-adventure gaming, isn't it? And some of the choices you make will effectively see if people live or die.
Personally, I'm hooked so far. I'm giving it 8.5.
I really enjoyed this. I loved how every character has their own agenda, but you can never make everyone happy. And I loved how quickly I cared about all of these characters, which is a pretty rare thing. So I'm going to give this 9 out of 10.
Well, that's it for our roundup of the week that was. Don't forget you can tune into regular episodes of Good Game every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. on ABC2 and Good Game Spawn Point at 9:05 Saturday mornings on ABC3.
Next week, we go medieval with War of the Vikings.
I had a lot of fun with their last game, War of the Roses, so you'll have my bow.
And my axe. Until then, Barjo out.
Hex out.